He brought me to the world, you know?
Sure. Who else you going to play with?
In today's game, shit. Man, there's some motherfuckers in today's game, but Steph Curry.
Yeah, that's the one.
Steph Curry's the one that I want to play with, for sure, in today's game. All time, it's crazy, man. I love Scottie Pippen, bro.
Really?
Yeah, Scottie was like the shit. Like, I mean, obviously MJ was crazy, cold. Kobe would have been another one. But like, Scottie Pippen and Penny Hardaway was like my two, because I seen myself in them. Same how Asia just said what she just said. Like, I saw myself in Pippen and Penny. Tall guards, point forward, get everybody involved, defend all type of positions. But like right now, it's Steph.
Why Steph?
Man, I love everything about that guy. And that mother,
Lethal.
Lethal, man. When he get out his car, you better guard him right from the moment he pulls up to the arena. As soon as he get out of his car, you better guard him.
Oh, sorry, guard him.
Yeah, better guard him. Man, you might want to guard him when he get out of the bed.
The parking deck.
Swear to God.
He's serious.
He's serious.
Please guard him soon as he got the car. Don't let him touch that little carpet right there, man.
Motherfuckers too, obviously.
I love Luka. He's my favorite.
Luka Cole. Luka bad.
But he like.
I heard you didn't do media today, so maybe it is.
Nah, it's feeling good. I mean, it's a slow process. It's a weird one just because of where it is and the injury and all that. So every day's been good. It hasn't been crazy leaps every day, which is kind of frustrating. But even just to get shots up and get back on the floor, that means a lot. Rehab is some long days, and it's kind of monotonous. So when you can get to the next part of the process, that always keeps the spirits high. And obviously, I know what the goal is to try to be ready by next weekend.
Let me ask you this, just to start. You know, during your 5-year run, you had the same core together, the big three and Andre and Looney. This year, you're going to have to do it differently. You have the core, but you haven't played together, and then you got a bunch of new players. Have you been thinking about how it's going to look if you progress through the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, we've had bright spots throughout the year that you can kind of pull some film and see, you know, the different combinations that have, you know, had some good moments. And obviously me, Draymond, and Clay, we know each other like the back of our hands. So when we can get, you know, us healthy and on the floor, and you add JP, how he's been playing, it's been unbelievable to watch him, what he's doing. You know, Wiggs finding the way he can impact the game on both ends of the floor. Maybe not as a first option, but really making his presence felt. You know, Loon's been Mr. Reliable all year. And then you add some of the young guys who, obviously with Otto and Belly as the vets who are looking for their playoff moments. And then you have some of the young guys who are going to have an opportunity, depending on the matchups, depending on how the series flow. So there's been enough samples of it working in bits and pieces throughout the season that you can believe that it's going to come together, that you can show the film and prepare. And then I think the newfound energy of, you know, or I guess the anxiousness of what does it look like will help us, you know, emotionally in the playoffs, because that's a big piece of it too. You got to have, you know, that right juice and that right energy going into a playoff series. And I feel like we can bottle all that up and make it work for 2.5 months. So that's the goal.
Steph, I got to keep it real with you because I'm his ear to the streets. So, you know, I come in, we do the show, and I tell him what the barbershops are saying or the streets are saying. And you had the, I'm taking it back because I know you're focused about this year and trying to get number 4. But you coming off the hand injury, no Kevin Durant, no Clay. You know, there were whispers out there, okay, I can't wait to see what the chef is going to do. And to me, I don't know you on a personal basis, but I feel like I know you. You just went out. Team was over 500, 6 games over 500, and you averaged 32 points per game. And I know it's a team game, but from a personal standpoint, how much did that mean to you? Because to me, you went Ghostbusters to everybody like, I got this. I heard the noise, and I don't know if you hear it, but I heard it, and you shut everybody down.
I don't respond to everything, but I do hear everything. Obviously, you just know situation we've been around this this game for the long time. So I mean, last year was I pride myself on being adaptable, and being able to, you know, meet whatever challenges in front of me. And, you know, that's kind of been my entire basketball career. Forget the NBA. It's always been, you know, kind of the MO. And the way last year started, like obviously all that conversation about who we were going to be, who I was going to be, and all that, wanted to answer the bell. And obviously it's about winning. Like I wasn't happy at the end of the
Right.
season, but you definitely have some pride about, you know, how you individually responded and being able to kind of leverage that into, you know, extending my prime for as long as I can. So that was the motivation, that was the goal. And, you know, coming into this year and trying to do it with a new crop of guys and some young guys and trying to meet the level that we know we're supposed to be at. And that's like, as contenders, that's what we're all trying to do. So, it feels good to be back in that lane and see what happens in the playoffs. But it all is about, you know, meeting whatever challenge is ahead of you and whatever the narrative is and whatever the situation requires, and doing it at a very high level.
You're listening to Steph Curry, Matt Steinmetz, Darryl the Guru Johnson from the Chase Center in downtown San Francisco after the Golden State Warriors practice. Of course, Guru's going to ask you about your scoring title. I got to ask you about what's going on with your shot. What happened with your shot this year? Now, listen, I got 6 things I'm going to throw at you.
Okay.
All right. One is your age. Mm-hmm. Another is the defenses have gotten better the last 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. Your new rotation. Mm-hmm. You didn't have your same, 6 minutes. New ball?
No.
Okay. And this is the big one. You're too muscular right now. You're too strong. Because I remember when he came into the league, you were almost scrawny. Now you're just.
I got so many compliments coming into the season until I started missing, and then it was like, wait, is the deltoids too big? Like, no, I mean everything. The first 4 you talked about, like, there's a combination of just of a little bit of all that, and it's also like. I'm cool acknowledging, obviously, I have my own worst critic, so it doesn't matter what anybody else says about my shot. And, from December to whatever it was, February, and the kind of lows that I hit, I know I'm a creature of habit when it comes to my routines and all that type of stuff. And, again, being adaptable is what I pride myself on, but I think a lot of it was just understanding that from the 3-point record and all the hoopla around that, I was shooting like 15, 17 threes. I was kind of forcing a little bit, and there was a little anxiousness around that moment. Bad habits start to creep in terms of mechanics, in terms of shot selection and all that. And then it's just basketball. Like the expectation that I've set for my entire career and what I've openly spoke about, I want to shoot 40% from the three every year and be efficient at what I do. That's what everybody expects every year, and I'm cool with that. And if I don't hit it, you can ask all the questions you want. It doesn't change how I approach the game, but I still have that mentality. That's the level I'm going to be at for the foreseeable future. So before I got hurt, I was shooting a little bit better and trying to trend in the right direction, finish out this year strong, and I'm definitely I'm still in that mindset, even though I've missed, these last, 10 games. So I'm show off in the playoffs, be ready to go. So
I got a picture that my son showed me. It's you, Clay, and Dre. You guys look like you're 14, 15. And I'm thinking, damn, not do they just go back, but 5 straight trips to the NBA Finals, and you won 3. You play 2 seasons without Clay, and now you got your guy back. And I was talking to him about, not the mob movies, but just loyalty. Like it's just fitting that you got Clay back. Can you speak to what's that like? And you seeing him, your boy, your Robin, your Batman, right alongside of you, Andre, trying to get number 4.
It's the best, man. Like, it's unprecedented in this league. The opportunity that we have to go through that finals run like we had. Have a 2-year hiatus, and obviously Clay have 2 catastrophic injuries. Fight through all of that, try to maintain our culture, our DNA, Warriors basketball through it all. Welcome him back in January, and try to find that synergy and that chemistry again. Get his legs back underneath him, and we all know how that's kind of been over the last couple months. And he's shown the highs. He's shown, he's been away from basketball for almost 1,000 days. So, there's going to be kind of ebbs and flows to that. But like you said, just the mentality that we have, that if we can just be healthy, and I know that's part of winning a championship, you got to have some good fortune when it comes to that. Like, we have the utmost confidence in who we are, what we do, especially when the playoffs come around. And that's what we're banking on. That's the confidence we have to have coming in the next weekend. And I'm excited about that. Like, to your point, you can't guarantee anything in this game, and you can't just think just time and reps and just games. We're gonna get back to that level. Like, you have to appreciate every opportunity you have, and 3 seed hopefully, whatever happens the last couple of games, we're in a really good position. And us three, and our guys that are gonna be with us, ready to go.
Steph Curry joining us on 95.7 The Game. This would be the one, though. This would be the one. I was thinking about it because, you won one. People think you snuck up on teams, and Durant comes and you roll. Come on, this would be the big boy. It would get you 4. Do you think about, like, a Bird has 3? LeBron has 4. I'm serious. Like, this would be the one, my man.
Yeah. The first one is special because it's your first ring. You always remember that, and then you come back 17, 18, get 2 more. But obviously, the best one's the next one. Like, right. That would be kind of the Guru's question. That would be unbelievable to go through everything that we've went through since the 19 finals to get back to this stage and to get over the hump. It would be unbelievable. It would be legendary, and we're going to give it every shot and everything. We're going to throw everything we got at it to get it done. So for us to be able to sustain, like I said, our culture, because our culture is going to show up when it matters, for good or for bad. And I think that's something that I'm excited about. That just confidence that we are who we are, and we can get it done at the highest level.
I got to ask you this golf question. I know you and my guy are 2 avid golfers.
Yes, sir.
So I'm not. I'm trying to pick up the sport, but who cares? But a ritual, I always tell him and the people listening, Steph, is me and my pops that the Masters is ours. That's what we watch. We watch it together. And Monday, Tiger announces, right now it looks like he's in. And that just, I'm ready. I know we got the offs, but I'm like, Tiger might be back. I'm ready. When you heard that news, and if you do see him, try to win. What did you think of that, and just how excited are you for him?
I like the way he went about it, because we know for like 14 months ago he was in a horrific car crash. Everybody thought he was going to lose his leg and the whole deal, and he's got to play with his son in that tournament in December, whenever it was. And then everybody's asking the question, it's obviously Augusta. So for him to show up, kind of be behind the scenes, just grinding, working, everything that you know about his competitive mentality, to come back from something like that, obviously it's great for the game. Obviously it's great for this weekend. And it's inspiring. Just, I don't know if you ever, I have the underdog mentality a lot. And when you're a champion, it's hard to kind of speak on that, right, when you're the man, you're the dog. But he's been the greatest of all time and the true underdog, back and forth, like multiple times. And it's just kind of interesting to see that. So I'm rooting for him, obviously. Want him to compete. Something about that Augusta, Georgia brings the best out of him. So we'll see.
There you go.
You hear what your boy said?
Who?
Uh-oh.
You hear what your boy said?
Who, my boy?
Take a listen.
Who else you want to play with?
In today's game, Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Steph Curry's the one that I want to play with.
Oh, shoot.
The chef.
You know what? Hey, he might want to play with you next weekend now.
That is phenomenal. When did he say that? Was that on the shop?
Yeah.
I guess the latest one, yeah.
No. Well, we got his wish. So he's the captain. He's picked me the last 2 All-Star games. So I don't know if that suffices, but I'm good right now.
How's that make you feel, though?
Good right now. Whenever you get the interest or curiosity of what it would be like to play with arguably MVP kind of caliber dude like he is, and one greatest of all time, cool. It's amazing.
Right.
We all can live in that fantasy world, though.
I remember a couple years ago, you and my guy did your sit down. You guys chopped it up, you and Stoney. Yeah. And I was having a conversation with him, and I said, you know what, Stoney? I said, you might be Curry Skip Bayless. When you hear that?
Don't do that.
Don't do that. You know what? Thank you,
He's
Steph.
way better, but you know what I mean? My boy's kind of critical at times.
You can't be lovey-dovey all the time.
Okay, well, there it is. Wow.
But you can be sane.
Okay, all right. I said, no, the chef likes you.
No, if you think about when you came in 2009, you did change there was like a 1, a 2, and you were a guy who could do both. But it was hard to be at an advantage doing both. But your ability to play off the ball has been the other part of your greatness. So
you gotta remind me for a second, when I going through that, like, was Monte a 2 in your eyes or 1?
Monte never wanted to play point. Nelly
he was a true 2 to you.
Yeah,
that's
to me.
See, there's like qualities of him, like him on the ball is like in pick and roll. That's not a traditional 2 kind of role, right? So like there's a kind of a high. We were both kind of hybrids, but you would say who's more effective at doing both.
But you played point guard at Davidson your last year, didn't you?
Yeah, I was past first point guard in high school. Like they had to tell me to shoot more in high school. Then I got to college. And the first 2 years I was strictly a 2.
Right.
And that's all I did was catch and shoot, run off picks and all that. Then my junior year, I played traditional point and had to do a lot of playmaking and scoring. So I've done. That's why I love it, because I got to do both forever in different roles, and try to be as efficient and effective as possible. I think that was my only chance in the league too, because at 6'3" you can't really.
Right. Well, that's one thing I've always I've always said to this day is people say, "What? Let's run high pick and roll with Steph all game, like, whatever. Play like Harden, play like Westbrook." And I'm like, don't you get it? Like, don't you get it? His ability to play off the ball makes him a greater player. Do you feel that way?
No, absolutely. I mean, there's certain times where you shouldn't overcomplicate it. If one of the 2 is working better than the other. And it obviously depends on who else is out there on the floor and do you have the right playmakers and all that type of stuff. But obviously I've been blessed with Draymond as a point forward that is very comfortable handling the ball and seeing the floor and, utilizing or taking advantage of how teams defend him as not really a scoring threat, but being able to still facilitate, because that's not easy to do if they're trying to take away that, and you still find a way to find the right angles and get the pass on time and on target and all that. So definitely being both it's fun. It's fun as hell for me.
Right.
Let me ask you this. You got 2 MVPs, the only unanimous. You got 3 rings. And, I come in and he always makes fun of me. It's about the highlights. All you care about is the highlights. But you went to the All-Star game and you shut social media down because you made it look like a video game, like it really was 2K. How did you process that when it was over? Because, the world had stopped you, like the best shooter ever. You already know that. But to do that in front of the stars, your peers, what did that mean to you?
It was kind of an out-of-body experience, just because.
It looked like it.
One, I got the boos from my favorite fans in Cleveland.
Oh, see, there it is.
It kind of inspired me the whole weekend. But obviously, I haven't shot the ball well or done anything crazy in All-Star games before. And I made my first 2, and it kind of started to feel good. And then you just start to get a rhythm. And other guys on the court, they pick up on that, especially your teammates when you're feeding the hot hand and all that type of stuff. And then people started talking about the 3-point record towards the end of the first half, and I went past that, and then they started talking about the points record and all that. But the flair and all the turnaround shots and just the fun, that just came out naturally, because when you're in your element, like, you're not really thinking about anything. You're just enjoying playing basketball. And, the guys on my team were feeding me the ball and living it up and kind of embracing it too, so that was dope.
Steph Curry joining us on 95.7 The Game. Playoffs start next weekend right here at Chase Center. All right, I'll just give you what I'm thinking as you guys head into the playoffs this year. I'm worried about you guys because you haven't played together. When you go to game 1, you're going to have different rotations, all that stuff changes. And you look at some of the team, like the Suns have been good all year long. Like, how are you guys going to be able to put it together that quickly on the fly when the stakes of the game are the highest and beat really good teams, like win 4 series?
Our preparation is going to have to be key. Like, we're going to have to over-communicate in terms of things that you might take for granted during the regular season of whatever the rotation is going to game 1. Like, everybody has to know, everybody has to be locked in, accept what that is, come prepared. I'm sure the rotation will shrink a little bit. And then we have to kind of really prepare for crunch time, because that's where, we've gotten exposed a little bit in terms of execution. Our IQ has to show up, especially on the defensive end, in terms of not fouling, doing the little things that help you win playoff games. But our IQ on offense has to allow us to just be prepared and as organized as possible going into those clutch moments, in the fourth quarter, because the energy is going to be crazy. We know that. you got to be in sync and locked in. And offensively for us, just whether that's 1 or 2 play calls, we just know we have to stick with that and execute it. Know whose hands we want to put the ball in, what we're trying to do. Like, we have to over communicate that going into that playoff series. So next week's gonna be important, and I think the playing game helps us, with that week of or five days of preparation. Hopefully we'll get enough practice time, and we'll accomplish everything I just talked about in terms of our preparation for game 1. And then you kind of just take it from there, because you have to be able to respond and react with how a series goes, and that's going to have to be wash, rinse, repeat for every round we go through.
So I remember you battle. Everybody does. Dub Nation, your injuries, and you overcoming it to become what you are now. Some will say the GOAT. And I'm watching these games, and I want to ask you about your teammate, Jay Poole, because I told Stoney when the news came out that he was going to the G League, and who am I to give up on him? But I was like, I don't know. And then, bam, Steph, I'm watching the games, and you may be on the bench, and I'll say to myself, what is the chef thinking about this progress that he sees from his young teammate? How good can Jordan Poole be in this league?
He can. I mean, the sky's the limit. I don't even want to put any type of
restriction.
Yeah, levels to it, just because it's amazing, one, to see our player development process work in terms of a guy that we drafted late first round. Didn't really he got thrown into the fire his rookie year with our shortened season, and there was no consistency, no veteran presence. Draymond was in and out of the lineup. I was hurt. Like, he was just kind of out there just playing, and this one, bad habits, and you can get distracted from what's the goal of how am I trying to get better. Come into the next year, like you said, he got an opportunity early. I think he started a couple of games, and he was out of rotation and all over the place. And for a young guy, that's really difficult mentally to have to deal with. And then, like you said, gets going to the G League, and like, this is your time to work on your game. We're asking you to do this, and this, build your confidence, come back. And then he just took off. And I think the expectations were high this year, and he's exceeded them, obviously, especially he had a kind of a slower start, right?
Yeah.
And his role has changed from starting, until Clay got back, being a 6th man, starting a little bit more. All I wanted him to do was just embrace the challenge of what we were throwing at him, and that he was built for it. He's got confidence in himself. He's got a flair. He's got a killer instinct. And going through those ups and downs, I think, has prepared him to deal with success like he's going through right now, where it was 16, 17 games, whatever it is, 20 plus, putting himself in another tier of players that, people, I would say, fear in the league. When you see him step on the floor, you got to pay attention to where he's at all times. And that challenge is going to continue, but I think it's all confidence in this league. And when you know what you're trying to do and you keep things simple and you just play to your strengths, good things happen. And we're all trying to, support him in that journey, because it's amazing to watch.
Have you ever reflected? We're sitting here in the Bridge Room at the Chase Center. It's in downtown San Francisco. It's a building, you had a part in. They're going to say that Curry got this built. And I always go back to your first media day where Monte said, I can't play with Steph Curry. Steven Jackson said, get me out of here. Don Nelson was falling asleep on the sidelines. Lucky his dog was running all over.
Cigar smoke was everywhere.
Exactly. Like, do you ever allow yourself to think about how far you've come and this organization has come?
All the time.
Really?
Like, all the time. Just, like you said, even just coming into this building, like, I can actually, where I drive in on the Terrier Francois, is that how you say it? On the side, I can look across the bay and kind of see where Oracle is and know what these last 13 years have been, and just embrace the journey and appreciate like all the things that I've gone through. I saw Keith Smart when he came here for the Arkansas. He's on the Arkansas staff, and he was playing here, and I remember when he used to bench me in the fourth quarter because he didn't think I could close out games, and AC Law was playing. So there's like so many different things that have happened from my rookie year to now, and I appreciate the fact that I'm still here, still trying to lead the charge, still have a lot left in the tank, obviously, and we got those 3 bad boys over there on the wall, and hopefully get a couple more. So like it's all a part of my sense of gratitude for what I get to do, and the fact that so much has changed, and I get to embrace it all.
Steph, I'm a random dude, so bear with me. So I'm a big Batman fan, right?
Okay.
So Batman had Alfred, and anytime Batman was nicked up or needed to be looked out for, he had Alfred. And to me, your Batman and Brandon Payne is Alfred. How big of a deal has he made on your career, man? Because to beat the injuries and have you in the tip-top shape you are, speak to that.
It's wild. I met him in Charlotte after my first ankle surgeries. I was doing rehab at this place called Architect Sports and Physical Therapy. This guy, Alan Tyson, who was helping me every day. I was in there 3-4 hours doing ankle mobility and stuff, and I couldn't really do anything on the court. And he was sitting in the front hall. He was doing some research for his gym that he was doing or setting up down the street. And he introduced himself to me, and he said, "Hey, I'm working out a couple of the Hornet guys. If you want to come by, like I got a bunch of ball handling workouts I can put you through while you're sitting in a chair so that you can, stay sharp while your ankle's still healing before you can get back on your feet." And I didn't know him from Adam, so I was like, yeah, I ain't got nothing else to do. Let's go. And I went over to the gym, Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte, HBCU down there. I went to the gym. We worked out for about an hour. A couple other guys are in there, and I was like, I really like this. So we stuck with it, and that was 11 years ago. And a lot of the work that we've done, he's grown with me in terms of his expertise and all that. He'll tell you, like, obviously he just gave me the tools in terms of his knowledge, and I went out and did it. But there's a good chemistry in terms of, it's all, like I said, confidence, skill set. Being efficient with your body, every move that you make on the court, everything that you see out there. It's not the first time I've done it, and we've all kind of been on that same journey together. So, I like the analogy you got, but
Life is amazing.
It is amazing just how took a leap of faith, just go to the gym and work out and see what happens, and been with me ever since.
Man, hey, appreciate the time, Steph. Really do. How long are you going to play, man?
My wife might be listening. I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to get in trouble.
What is your handicap right now, though? That's what I'm curious about.
I think it's a 0.3 plus, or not. It's 0.3 on the other side. But if we're giving legit strokes, I'm not winning any money because I ain't played in a long time. So.
Gotcha. All right, man.
Thanks, man.
Really appreciate it. Good luck.
Y'all doing Masters picks?
I got Tiger.
You got Tiger.
Yeah.
You gonna pick him? You gonna put some?
I'm a bad gambler. Yeah. I'll tell you the truth.
Patrick Reed. Yeah. Patrick Reed.
Ooh, back to back. I'm going with John Rahm in case.
John Rahm.
All right. That's Steph Curry, everybody.